So I've made videos on this topic in the past, and it's based around pricing of your cleaning business. Now, I always get asked this question, whether or not you should charge a flat fee, how much you should charge, should you price the same as your competitors, should you charge less or should you charge more? Now, it really does depend. Now, I had the theory of obviously charging much less because I thought there's a lot of competition. Nobody's going to want to take my business if I'm a new kid on the block. I've got, no proven track record, no references. So the average price in my area was about £12 an hour. So I decided off the top of my head, start on £10 an hour. That's a fair deal. I feel, if it's, cash in hand, I'll do very well earning £10 an hour. So I chose the idea of going £10 an hour. And I'm going to go through the benefits, the pros and cons of doing that. Now, I charged £10, got a load of customers. It wasn't any issue. Now, when I look back and, I got my customers on board, I was cleaning them, I was getting the cash from it. I realized that if, I was charging £12.50 instead of £10, the, the, the billing of my week there would be about £100 difference to exactly what I'm earning. So in that, I literally was losing out on £100 just because I didn't price the jobs well. So what I suggest is starting on £10 an hour. The benefit of it is it's quick to acquire a customer and you don't necessarily want to blow a big deal. Now, the only benefit that I see is you can get on board quick. If you're starting off, I would suggest definitely charging quite low, not too low, because you'll get bored. You won't obviously accept it, and sometimes you get stuck with that customer for about 2 years. So be prepared for that. You can drop customers, but I wouldn't advise it. It's very hard to put the rate up as well. I know a lot of cleaning companies and businesses try to suggest doing that. I wouldn't. So back to the pricing question. If you start at the sort of industry average, no one's going to really come to you. But if you prove yourself, you gain the experience, you learn how to talk to customers, you learn the do's and don'ts, and there's a lot of obstacles on the way that you can, I don't want to necessarily get into it because the video will be too long. But in terms of pricing, I would suggest first two positions charge £10 an hour, £8 an hour, that sort of range. Get two customers on board, learn from it, get some cash in your pocket, buy resupplies, and spend that money on advertising. I would gradually go up as you get the customers and as you get busy. So you could start off on £10 and then go up to £11 or £10.50 and then move up to £12.50. I got to the stage where I was so busy and there was so much in demand, I would tell a customer double my price at the time, and they would still say yes because they were so desperate for a cleaner. So you can get to that stage as well, and you can work your way up. Now, the downside of charging low, typically the clients you will attract in certain areas are the ones that don't want to pay too much. Chances are their houses are slightly more dirty as well because they'll get a cleaner in, every 6 months, every 4 months, or, just once in a while. I've had customers that I'm glad to do the clean, but if they're charging £10 an hour and it technically is a sort of end of tenancy clean, that sort of level of dirt, you shouldn't be charging the £10 an hour. You should be charging a deep clean, spring clean, which prices of, if it's a 3-bedroom house, they are £100, £200 upwards. So I would suggest obviously doing it very lightly at the first few times and just gauge the customer interaction and see how you can go from there. I wouldn't necessarily say charge high, but once you get your foothold in the door and you feel, you're quite confident to go and talk to customers, and you can price per job as well. So if you go to a home and you feel that it's very hard to clean or it's going to take you a while, add a little extra onto it. If it's going to be harder work, I mean, some houses you go and it's very easy, some houses you go it's hard, but it's still the same size and the customer expects the same sort of pricing. So you can charge slightly more as well, if you feel you're going to be working harder. And you can explain to the customer. I never went down the route of add-ons, so my products that I use would be included in the price. I would never charge extra for that, and I wouldn't charge extra for doing the inside of the windows or inside the fridge. I just focus that if it's a weekly clean, I would also offer that in a monthly sort of package as part of the price. And not many cleaning companies do it. I'm cleaning anyway. I don't see why I shouldn't actually clean the windows and inside the oven as well. It crosses the boundaries when you look at things like ovens, how dirty they are. Some are very hard to clean. You may have to just advise they get a really professional oven cleaning company That can cost about £70, but it's totally worth it. So back to pricing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, there's a lot to it. Should you negotiate on price? Never. I would never suggest that. If someone says, "Oh, it's £12, but can you do it for £10?" Chances are you don't want a customer like that, because the next week you go, they'll be asking for something else as well.